live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. We hope that you guys are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Huge show in store for you tonight as our buddy, I guess we call him buddy, Josh Fiser joins us tonight at 7:30. I guess if we're going to continue to go around the SEC, even though they're not in the SEC yet, we're going to head out to Austin. Sark is in a lot of trouble. He doesn't know how to get to 10 wins. He's recruited really good, but he really sucks. Just joking. But seriously. All right, we're going out to Austin. Our good buddy Josh Fiser from the Charity Stripe joins us at 7:30. We will look forward to talking, I guess, a little Texas football. Are they back? I do not believe that they are, but we will see. Final LSU prediction. So I have been asked more about this than any question about fall camp. Blake, what do you think LSU is going to go? Do you think they're going to be 9-3, 10-2, 11-1? I've hinted at it, but we're going to go down the schedule tonight. I'm going to tell you the wins and potential losses or potential slip-ups that LSU may have. Some of them, and one of them I don't think you're going to agree with, but I've heard this a lot today. A lot of people predicting the floor for LSU to be 7-5, 8-4. I cannot wrap my mind around that. I just cannot wrap my mind around that. We'll talk about that here tonight. Some things that we want to see in the scrimmage. So scrimmage prep will be out there Saturday to review all of that. Really, three big things that I want to see. So what are the three big things that I want to see when it comes to Saturday? Obviously, you know, one big thing, that being the DB unit picking it up a little bit. We will talk about that, though, here tonight. Maybe just, look, I want to walk out of there healthy, really. So no matter what, I'm not going to put that in my top three, but, I mean, the number one thing is everybody staying healthy, like nobody getting hurt. That is the only thing that matters, really. All you do have to get some good work in, but everybody needs to stay healthy. But I'll give you three big things tonight and one I want to see on Saturday as well. We'll go around your SEC, your real SEC, not Texas, but we will talk a little Texas football here tonight. Saints look good in their joint practice with the Chargers. Mike Thomas looks like he's been doing some good stuff. Chris Olave as well. We'll touch on that. And as we do every Tuesday and Thursday, hashtag Ask Blake. Thoughts, questions, concerns, bring them inside the Rudy Crew chat, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. Jeff Miley with the super chat already comes out and says, Dark is Rudy Poo. I think he means Sark is Rudy Poo. Thank you for the $199 super chat. Yes, Sark is Rudy Poo. Tyler Townsend, Jeff, Tasha Thibodeau from the Real LSU Nation on Facebook all say, let's go. Go Tigers. Can't wait. I do believe that this is going to be a special season. I tweeted that out. So get ready. Get ready. Jay Rayo says Major Burns grew up today. Hashtag growth. I don't think that was actually from today. I think that was from, he was jawing back and forth and pushing around. But yeah, I do agree with you. He did make a big statement today that they published. I agree with you. Jason Brumfield says, I remember the first time watching this show, the night BK got hired. I haven't missed an episode since. Thank you so much, Jason. I really appreciate that, buddy. Yep. 755 episodes deep, man. 755 episodes deep. We talk about, look, man. I've grown. Like, I go back and watch my first ever episode. Somebody sent it to me a while back. One of my buddies sent it to me a while back, and my God, how bad I sucked. Just the growth being a big thing, getting comfortable in your own skin, knowing what you're seeing too, and not being too high, too low. Sometimes, and I'm an emotional dude, sometimes I get high, sometimes I get low on myself or low on things. It's just best to say even keel as much as you can, but still firing that passion. Last Saturday was really fun, though. And that's why I do this, man. Like last Saturday and getting to meet the Moore family, the Durham family, was a fantastic experience talking to them, cutting up. It was fun. And then Corey Moore committing to LSU always is fun. Always is fun. Corey Rogers says, not going to lie, this is my new favorite channel. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate it, buddy. I do appreciate it. Howard Jr. sent us a crying face emoji. Is that because of my bad song? That was off the cuff. And it wasn't good. Our good friend Stephen Fry over at Fry Construction. Y'all go give him a call out there in Eunice today. Dirt and soil hauling, gas. They do it all, dude. Anything you need, the Fry Construction unit does it. He says, not going to lie, the scrimmage makes me nervous for injuries, but I guess it's got to be done to make sure you're up to speed 11 on 11. No question. It's got to happen, but I agree with you. I do agree with you. Boogie Season on YouTube. What's up, buddy? Says, hashtag Ask Blake, do you think we should be Ohio State or Michigan in the playoffs? Do you think we should be Ohio State or Michigan? Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Can you elaborate? Elaborate on that a little bit. Because, I mean, look, I think that LSU's built better. I mean, look, styles make fights. And speaking of fights, we got a big, massive UFC card this weekend on Saturday. Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling. I don't know why people hate Aljo so much. Just throwing that out there. The dude just literally in his last fight took down an Olympic gold medalist and out-wrestled him. So, I mean, the dude is, he is a stud. I don't care if you like him or not, but you're going to have to respect him at some point. And let's see if Sugar Sean O'Malley catches that chin. We'll find out. Sugar Show's fun to watch. And I completely thought what I was. Oh, but styles make fights. I think LSU's built to take on Michigan better because Michigan likes to slow things down. I think Brian Kelly likes that style. We'll see, man. We'll see. And I'm not completely confident on my Ohio State pick. I'm not confident about that as well. So we'll see. Bart Smokey, what's up, bud? Says, who do you think will wear number 18? It feels like Josh Williams. It feels like Josh Williams to me. That's who I'd probably go with. I can't. Some may not like this because I don't remember us having a transfer. But I think Josh Williams has earned it, man. I mean, he's been here since 2019, man. I think it would be a disservice not to give it to Josh Williams. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Corey says, how is there for 144 people in this live chat and only 18 likes? Come on, people, do better. This dude is the shizite. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Having some congestion, so bear with me here tonight too. Rick says, Blake, with Mason dinged up, Mason Smith, do we have a chance on him Saturday? I'm good saving him for the Knowles. We'll see. I guess to see how he feels. I mean, don't risk anything. Don't risk anything. We'll see. We'll see. Jay says, Longhorn Twitter been talking mad-ish recently. They better not get clapped by Bama. That's true. That's true. I do agree with that. I agree with you on that. Joey says, man, if LSU comes out and waxes that FSU ass, they're going to ride that tidal wave on highs all the way to Atlanta. Well, I'm going to back up with you a little bit here. I'm going to back up to that. They will ride it all the way to Tuscaloosa. Because, listen, as much as I think that their quarterback situation is really bad, guys, they're still going to be probably – I mean, at worst, man, they're going to be a 9-win team. At worst. right? Like I'm not going to come out here and tell you that they're going anything worse than 9-3. Like there's no way. I cannot see it. I just can't see it. They're too good, man. They are too good. So I don't they will roll in if they can roll in undefeated, which we're going to break down the schedule here tonight. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Kenny says Josh Williams is my favorite Tiger. I don't really disagree with you there. Roger Dugas says, Blake, what's up, my guy? What's happening, Roger? My man got a new fresh fade. I just saw on Facebook. My man's faded up. You got to love it. All right, let's get rolling. Let's get started. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share to all of those social media groups. As someone pointed out here, maybe Corey was, we have 168 people in here and only 61 likes. Like, what's up with that, man? What's up with that? Y'all got to do your brother a favor. Hit the like and share. You want us to continue to go to Dallas, okay, and get commitments from 5-star recruits? The only way that happens is if you hit the like and share, okay? If you're on Facebook, hit the like and share to all those groups, share to all those social media pages. Listen to us on YouTube, like, subscribe, notification bell. Wherever you listen to podcasts, dude, you guys on the podcast audio side have been killing it. You have been killing it. It is amazing what you guys have been doing for us on the audio side. If you haven't done so already, hit that like or whatever, the rating. Please give us up that 5-star rating. Don't forget to subscribe there as well. If you're watching us on Fubo TV, welcome. Let's talk about our good friends over at GM Varno & Sons, good friends over at betonline.ag. Let's break down LSU schedules. Why I think LSU is playoff bound. Stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Varno & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varno & Sons, go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992, 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. Back! I love that so much because Texas isn't. All right, listen. I'm going to bring up this schedule, but I'm going to get through a couple comments first. So, because we have a lot that we need to touch on here tonight. But Brandon Reese says, Blake, you're one of our colleagues over at Believe, Takeo Spikes. He's also on the SEC Network. Says Florida is going 4-8, he said today. Jay says they'll be 5-7. I don't think that bothers Florida, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that they're going to hate it, okay? If Florida goes 5-7, 4-8, they will probably be really pissed. And maybe it might cost Billy his job. It might. The problem is that they're recruiting at such a high level. I think that they still give him time. I don't think that they're going to go 5-7. You know, look, Utah has a situation going on with them with their quarterback and Cam Rising. They don't know if he's going to start in week 1. That gives Florida a very big edge. Okay. I do think that Florida can go up to Utah and win. and I will make this really well known. If Florida goes up to Utah and wins and somehow finds a way to win the Pac-12 again, no Pac-12 team deserves to go to the playoff. None. Because you're talking about a bottom-tier guys, and this happened last year. A bottom-tier SEC team beat the Pac-12 champion. And everybody's like, oh, Caleb Williams this, Caleb Williams that. He was better than Jane Daniels, this and that. Dog, what are we talking about? Yeah, he is great. And he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. He's got all the talent in the world. But, man, in some aspects, he couldn't even beat Utah, who got beat by Florida. Like, it's not a good look. If Utah loses to Florida again, my gracious ass bodacious. Flirtatious, trying to show game. Shout out to Nelly. Huncho says, Bama is losing 2 games this year. Blake, you better book it. Yeah, we could see. Golden Boot. I don't know if this is Ann or Pooh Bear, but says, ask Blake, I want to ask a question that I ask every year. What do you need to see now that hold on. What do you need to see to know that this is a championship team? Well, I'm glad Pooh Bear just asked. Or Ann. Because let's go down through this schedule. So here is the schedule, and we'll run through this tonight. And I'm glad Pooh Bear asked that because this is what our main topic is. Guys, week 1, you go up against Florida State. Okay? Look, we can talk about Grambling. It's going to be a really good game for LSU. But come on, man. That's going to be a win. Week 1 is the biggest thing. Number 5, LSU versus number 8, Florida. Or Florida State. I look at this game and just say to myself a couple of things. I have not really broken this game down at all. We got a long way to go to that, okay? But we can start a little bit now in breaking this game down against Florida State. Guys, I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care what your mama and them tell you. I don't care what your daddy and them tell you. I don't care what your grandmammy says, your Mimo has to say. I don't care what grandpappy has to say. They're a good team. Guys, if you start off the year winning week 1 against them in Orlando, you're poised to make a very deep run here. It's difficult for someone that talks about LSU 2/3 to 3/4 of the year on a show live and breaks down a football team over and over and over again. I cannot get past them not winning 9 games in the regular season. There's nowhere I can. When I look at Florida State, is that going to be what propels you to start this national title run that you could ultimately be on? Or are you back to square one where you were a year ago, and then you don't have any room for error? You have 0 room for error. We'll see. We will see. Their D-line's really good. I know that TJ, the guy that we bring on here a lot of times, my man loves to troll, and that's cool. Whatever. I love him to death, but that man's a troll. Okay? My man's been trolling LSU for a couple weeks now, and I get it. Love him to death, but I get it. They have defensively, they're really good. Offensively, they are a lot like you. They have secondary issues. They have a really deep defensive line. They got a senior linebacker who is a tackling machine. They return almost their entire offensive line. They return their quarterback. Really good wide receivers. They both got a really big-time wide receiver from Louisiana in the transfer portal. They are, if you looked in the mirror, Florida State is, you could almost see duplicates of yourself. You could say that you're mirror images of each other. And if you think that you're really good right now, well, so are they. The same storylines coming out of Florida State are the same storylines coming out of LSU. Secondary doesn't look so great. Finchal Cypress looks good. Another transfer, DB. But Jordan Travis is lighting it up. Sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Talked about it here last night. So I do think you go into Orlando and win. I do think you're going to have to run the football more than anticipated. I think you're going to have to establish that line of scrimmage. But if LSU shows us Saturday what they've continued to show us, throwing the ball through the air, watch out. But I don't remember a time where I've anticipated a scrimmage more than this one. Now, it was really well documented in 19. I was able to sneak in, really not sneak in, but call in a favor to go see that one of the scrimmages of Joe Burrow and Orgeron line at the press conference about Burrow going 13 of 20. And everybody's looking around and saying he went 18 of 20. They scored 4 times and you took him out. What are you talking about? Anyway, at least we get to see this one and have our eyes on it. But as I look at this schedule, man, I do think that you go into Florida State and win. So you're 1-0 and propelling yourself. You're going 2-0 against Grambling. So we got to move along because I got about 7 minutes here and want to do some scrimmage prep. But I think you go into Mississippi State. I think you go into Mississippi State. You get a win there. Look, and that's tough because they obviously lost their head coach. And God bless them. That's at 11 a.m. I don't like that, but they're not good enough or talented enough to beat you. Arkansas is tricky because they have KJ Jefferson. But the problem is their secondary was horrendous a year ago. They have not gotten better. They 1,000% have not gotten better. So Catalan is now at Texas. So I mean, secondary-wise, I think you're going to beat them up. And this game is, which I don't like. I was going to say something bad, but this game usually is played at the end of the year. I do think that LSU goes out here and waxes Arkansas in what this would be week 4. Here's an issue for me. These two. On the road at Ole Miss, on the road at Missouri. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Blake, those are 2 teams that you have no business losing to. And I agree. You have no business losing to Ole Miss or Missouri. But do you remember our good buddy Carl Bryant and what he said? In the last 20 years, or last 10 or 20 years, I don't remember which one year-wise he said, but there's only 2 teams that have gone on the road back-to-back in conference play. Or wait, it was last 20 years of SEC teams. There's never been teams. There's only 2 teams that's ever gone on the road back-to-back weeks and gone undefeated in those. That being 2019 LSU and 2022 Georgia. I don't like back-to-back road games. Now, I'm not as worried about Ole Miss as I'm worried about Missouri. Guys, that game's going to be in Como, on the road, probably at 11 a.m. It's a trap game. It is a trap game. There's nothing on paper. There's nothing on film. There's nothing or for any really good reason why I should be worried about Missouri other than this. Defensively, they're really good. If there's one thing that I will put all of my chips in, about a unit that will be good that nobody's talking about, Missouri defensively is really sound. Guys, losing Blake Baker's been kind of a big deal. Okay? It's kind of been a big deal. Like, God willing, something happened to Matt House, I wouldn't mind Blake Baker. I'm not saying you're losing both of these games. I'm not going to. What I will say is I do look at that and say, well, man, in the last 20 years, only 2 teams have done it. We've had a lot of national champions in the last 20 years in this conference, and it's those 2. So arguably, Well, and really the only two undefeated SEC teams that did it, the two really good teams. No, man. Yes, I am a little bit worried about going to Como at 11 a.m. Call me crazy. You don't like it. All right, whatever. But I'm a stickler like that. And look, Ole Miss can score, no doubt. Look, Auburn comes to LSU, comes to Baton Rouge, win. Army, win. But here comes the slate. The biggest game outside of Florida State, you know what it is. Alabama. It's tough. Oh, y'all didn't even see that. My bad. My bad. Look, Auburn coming to Baton Rouge. I think you win there on October 14th. You got Army, a triple option team, then a bye week. So you get your guys playing disciplinary football, and then you go into a bye week and get some rest. November 4th. November the 4th. In Tuscaloosa. We will anticipate that game more than anything. That's where I sit there and say to myself, if you go back on the road again, if you go on the road again and win, guys, you're making it to the playoff. It doesn't matter what happens in the SEC championship game. If Georgia and LSU are undefeated going into that, you're making the playoff unless you get absolutely just beat down and there are other teams in other conferences that are undefeated. We've seen this in the SEC. It's not an LSU thing. Even if you took the blinders off and said, well, Blake's being biased because it's LSU, here's a key stat for you. I'm reading this right now. Teams that have gone undefeated in the SEC going into the SEC title in the East and West, both of them have made the playoffs 3 times. We'll see. Before we get to Josh Fiser, guys, after that, you got Florida, Georgia State, and Texas A&M. You're going to beat Florida. You're going to beat Georgia State. You're going to beat Texas A&M. So when I look at LSU as a whole, that week 5-6 matchup, 6-7, whatever it was. No, it's 5-6, excuse me. Ole Miss on the road, Missouri, Como, 11 a.m. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And when people continue to not realize Brian Kelly, 2 weeks to prepare for Nick Saban and company, it's different here now. Bro, you had Orgeron hanging out with co-ed. Not really. I'm just making up, You had Orgeron hanging out with big titty blondes when he should have been focusing on going to Tuscaloosa and clapping cheeks. That's it. Well, I guess he was technically clapping cheeks. Let's see what Alabama looks like week 2 against Texas. Their quarterback situation is dire. Can Sark do the unthinkable? We continue to go around the SEC. So, before I get to Josh, I do think that LSU has the potential to go 11-1 in the regular season. Saying that they will go undefeated, I'm not going to do that. I never do that. 2019, y'all remember, I was live on this show. I said, I'm just going to give myself a grace and just act like they slip up. They're still going to beat Bama. I said 11-1. I'm going to do that again. I think they go 11-1. You have not seen what I've seen yet. Guys, I will tell you, Brian Kelly has been gracious at giving us access to practice, the full practice. Full practices. The country needs to be ready about what number 5 is about to do. I continue to see it. Now, if he goes out there Saturday and lays an egg, maybe we take a step back. But I'm witnessing it. And one day probably is not going to let me change my attitude on that. We'll talk about the scrimmage in just a minute. Let's go to Josh Fiser. How? I don't know. Maybe. or Ole Miss. I don't like that. I don't like saying that they're going to lose to Missouri because I sound like an idiot. But again, the statistic does pan out that way. Guys, the toughest time that Georgia had last year, on the road back-to-back weeks, and they almost slip up to Missouri. So literally Georgia just did that. Georgia just almost did not come out of Como with that win. I'm telling you, man, it gets spooky out there in the woods. Banjos start playing. Hicks starts spitting out dip spit. It's redneck heaven. The capital of redneck heaven is Missouri. All right. Get out of here. Let's get out of here before I get in trouble. Talk about a good friend, Tyler Alexander, over at eXp Realty, our good friend, Carol Foss, over at State Farm. We go to Texas next. Oh, my goodness. Why are we doing this? Josh is a good dude. He's gonna bring it up, but here we go.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man. He's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler. He'll shoot you straight.
Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Foss and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Foss has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. I do like the hat, though. I do like Josh Fiser from the charity is doing this. I do like that hat. Are you doing this because it's public now about Livy Dunn and Paul Skeens?
I'm just coming into enemy territory, knowing that I'm going to get yelled at about Sark and the Texas Longhorns. I'm trying to come in peace. Yelled at. I'm trying to come in peace. I just put a reminder to call 955-0008 with my boy Ty Alexander over there. Great. I love how you were talking about banjos and then you played a clip with a banjo. The first thing I hear when I go to break is a strum of a banjo. That's true. That's hosting. That is seriously hosting.
That's what you call 755 straight episodes.
That's legit. That is legit right there.
I love that, but I know why you're trolling right now because you're not trolling with the panel?
No. You and I spoke about it, and I got into a Twitter battle with somebody, and as good as Dylan Cruz was and is going to be, Paul Skeens was the pick in a rocket ship, not to overthink it. You win by pitching in the pros. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, before we get into football, they'd taken Henry Davis, they'd taken Nick Gonzalez, they'd taken Tamar Johnson. They had gone hitter in the top 10. After a while, you have to go pitcher at a certain point. And pitcher, Paul Skeens, one of the best college arms you've ever seen. You got to make that move.
So I know you can't see this, Fisher, but I'll send a picture of it to you.
Please.
So as the new studio's being built, I got the Burrow stuff, okay? I got Cruz in Skeens' signed helmet right here in the studio. Like, I mean, I knew that we were witnessing something special there. And look, it's not – we might not ever see that again. Like, we probably will never get to see that again. And that's just oh, my God. Like, what are we witnessing? So, and Tommy White's another dude that people need to, look at.
Sure, but someone was like on Livy Dunn in the stands when he struck some dude out with a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. Someone was telling me on Twitter also, like, he's not going to get called up next year. I was like, what planet are you on that he will be pitching in the pros by June next year? No questions asked. No questions asked. He's ready.
I mean, he faced 9 batters the other night. He had, 6 strikeouts, whatever it was?
And quite frankly, Dylan Cruz, from the highlights I've been seeing of him, he's ready to. The Nationals, Dylan Cruz, James Wood, bro, the Nationals are going to be nice again soon.
You know what's interesting? Interesting, Josh, about and I will use Texas baseball wise.
Thank you.
But those guys are seeing better pitching every weekend than they're seeing in low A baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Okay. You're seeing better pitching in the SEC or even Big 12, really. Because TCU again coming out of the Big 12. We'll talk about that here. All right. You know what I'm going to ask you?
What is it?
There's a lot of hype around this Texas team. Is it real?
Here's what I'll say. It's a very loaded question. First of all, I want to give you credit to the Georgia Mizzou call. Not that I was surprised it wouldn't get past you, but I would have chimed in if I was on the show with the Georgia Mizzou call. The Mizzou gave him a really tough time.
I don't like that. I don't like tough.
But that's why I'll tailor that into the Texas point. Texas has the Bama game. They have the easiest schedule they've had in God knows how long in the Big 12. OU's turnover is legitimate. He's not going to flip the script in a year. TCU's turnover is legitimate. They did a great job of catching lightning in a bottle, but that's what that was. K-State's interesting for sure, but I'm not sweating them. This is by far the easiest schedule and the best on-paper roster Texas has had. Now, you can get caught sleeping in college football on the road. These places are not easy places to go and play. Even if Mizzou is finishing 6-6, even if Ole Miss is finishing 8-4 year after year, or whatever they finished last year. These aren't easy places to go and play. It's not easy to go to these schools, even if it's an easier schedule to go and play in the Big 12. And you've left the Big 12. Not only did they hate you before, they hate you even more now. Everybody who's going to want to ruin Texas's coming out party again. They're going to want to ruin their last year in the Big 12. If the target on their back wasn't massive before, now it's earth size. So everyone's coming out there to kill you every single Saturday. Everyone wants to see you. I go back to the Dan Campbell quote at halftime when he found out the Seahawks won and the Lions are not going to the playoffs. And if they beat the Packers and Aaron Rodgers are done too. And that pretty much puts a nail in the coffin in his time in Green Bay. He goes, if we're not going, they're not going either. And I feel like that's going to be everyone's motto when they play the Texas Longhorns this year. Now, all that being said, as far as hype, is hype ever real? Hype is just hype, right? It's just it's fugazi, a figment of the imagination.
Just because you're from New York, you don't get to come in here and use that Italian language on me.
No, bro, I've got a lot of Italian friends. Let me be Texas and let me be New York all and LA all at once, man. Know, the thing is, we're starting to make the right moves recruiting wise. I'll say, forget the bag we threw at Colin Simmons, forget all that. We're recruiting on the line.
I'm glad you admit it.
Of course. Hey, man, I'll call it David Spade any day of the week.
Okay.
We got a couple years ago, we got Kelvin Banks. That was a big move.
I agree.
We got Colin Simmons. We're recruiting on the line. You go, why is Alabama? Oh, Alabama's quarterback, Alabama's running back, the receivers. Why is Alabama going to be tough as they are every year? Their line's going to be great. It always is. The lines on LSU are always great. Georgia, look at this. Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, lineman after Anderson would have been a first-round pick if he didn't get, charged with what he got charged with. They would have had 4 or 5 even more first-round picks. Their line is always replenished. So Texas is now recruiting in the right way. So that's a great step in the right direction as we head to SEC football next year.
What does it say? So I got to ask you just the real and honest questions, okay? What does it say if they can't go into Texas can't go into Alabama and win? What does it say about them? Because
you're saying it too, though. You're saying it too. Like if you guys, we're going to Tuscaloosa here. We're not going to Disneyland.
I get that. Okay, but from an SEC fan's perspective, it's been LSU, Arkansas, Bama twice. If you go winless, 3 of those being with Sark, there does come the question of, are they ready? Like, even if you won the Big 12, okay? And I'm genuinely asking. I'm not talking shit. I'm not trying to start shit. I just think it's a legitimate question.
Very.
If you go 0-4, then what?
Well, the LSU situation was we played y'all the closest that year.
Correct.
Really, we did.
Arkansas, but
we played you pretty. We played. We're pretty much a Todd Orlando all-out blitz on 3rd and long, 3rd and a mile,
3rd and 17, baby.
Dude, I'm sitting in the stands. I've never coached football. I'm sitting in the stands, and when he sent the all-out blitz
on Burrow,
and we didn't even know what these guys were yet, which is the craziest thing. Now, like we're saying it, we're saying it now when it's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, and we're the 2 guys that are arguably the best 2 receivers in the NFL. One of them is actually not an argument. One of them is just straight up the best receiver.
By the way, I got to ask you a question about that. I don't know if you saw Ryan Clark's clip, but continue.
Oh yeah, what?
Continue. I can't go.
I'm gonna make a comment on that. I would love to make a comment on that too.
All right, okay.
Now the Arkansas thing was scary. That was a scary, scary day. That was a wake-up call, 4 a.m., throw the water on you. All of a sudden your hands and feet are tied. You don't know how that happened. That was scary.
Right. You went home with a broad and she tied you up.
And took your money.
Correct.
Turns out she was a hooker. And an expensive one at that, like a hooker. Like, Coach O, big blonde bimbo. I mean, that was scary. The Bama, the Bama game, we are Ryan Watts. If he had a good year last year too, so I don't want to harp on him. But if Bryce Young doesn't do first overall pick things and slip that sack on the cornerback blitz, then we beat Alabama. It's a little unfortunate we go to them this year after having that momentum last year. If we did that in Tuscaloosa last year and they came to our house this year, it'd be pretty no holds barred. The hype would be even bigger than it was now. I think it's not great, but I don't think it's do or die. Like, look, it'd be a really bad situation if we went to a quote unquote depleted version of an Alabama team and we got popped in the mouth and we lost like 31-10. That'd be pretty disastrous.
So we'll get to that, but continue.
But I think if we're talking about a Texas team that has aspirations to win the Big 12 and make the playoffs, you have to go undefeated on the schedule, excluding Alabama. You have to sweep the Big 12. You cannot come in. You can't, we lost the game to BYU. No, there's no losing games to BYU, no losing games to Maryland, none of the gimme games you can lose. If you play Alabama to the, tooth and nail, real close down to the wire, and it's like some Georgia versus Ohio State last second shit, then like, okay, we belong. We could come into the SEC. I'm not saying win, but be competitive.
I'll agree with that.
Be competitive.
Yeah.
And then we're a legitimate team to contend to go to the playoffs if we do win out and win the Big 12 while playing Alabama close, assuming Alabama, LSU, Georgia, like one of these teams like falls flat. Tennessee doesn't come up out of nowhere, and Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State eat each other apart. Ditto with Clemson, Florida State. So there's a lot that has to happen for Texas because the Big 12 is so weak for them to go to the playoffs if they lose to Alabama. You can't just win and you're in, because everyone knows it's the weakest conference this year. It is. Like Pac-12, I know the Pac-12 is disintegrated. I know they handled that in a complete gong show fashion. Like whoever the commissioner, I hate to be graphic, but the commissioner of the Pac-12, yeah, he end of mice and men. Look at the birds, Lenny. Look at the birds. That's all right. Yeah, you look out real quick while George gets a good straight line on that. But they Oregon, Washington, USC, Utah, like they got teams, dude, and they got ballers on those teams. All 4 of those teams have great quarterbacks.
I agree with the premise of what you're saying. A one-loss Pac-12 team could get in over a one-loss Big 12 team because there's no telling what the SEC's. Because look, if you let's just hypothetically, okay, if Caleb Williams beats Penix, Nix, like he goes up against and beats all of those quarterbacks in the pack, and you lose to like Kansas State again, and look, TCU did it. So it's not, you're like, oh, okay, so they were pretty competitive in the pack. I agree with you that they have to be undefeated in the Big 12. The question becomes, for me, though, and I don't want to speculate. So let me just ask you the outright question. What do you think happens in week 2? So how has camp been going for Texas? I want to ask you about Arch too, and maybe you can elaborate on him. But how has that looked? And then you go into camp, and then you go into week 2 because you're going to win week 1. How do you think all this has transpired and leading up to that? How are they looking?
I mean, I want to pump the brakes on the Arch Manning thing because, again, a lot of things that are coming out of camp are he's got wheels. That's awesome. He's an athlete. He's 6'4".
I've seen him play 10 times. He's not fast in Malik.
No. Malik is the number 2 quarterback.
Correct.
Let's iron that out.
Right.
If Quinn Ewers really gets hurt again, unfortunately,
Malik's going in.
Malik Murphy is entering the football game.
Correct.
As he should. Like, there's no reason to throw Arch into the fire. There's no reason to do that. Now, Quinn's looked a lot better. Last year, he had googly eyes for Worthy in the deep ball. I think going to Sanders more, going to Whittington more. He gets Nair back. Kane's good. We have a really deep receiving room. I don't think it's the best. I think the Buckeyes have a great one.
Mitchell.
Champion twice. That, like, in the locker room, that's huge. And he's a really good possession receiver, really good in the red zone. So that's going to be big for Quinn. But Sanders is going to be a major catalyst. The issue we had with Quinn last year and Bijan Robinson, and there was an issue with Bijan Robinson, and it's not his fault, but Bijan would have been in New York if he was utilized to his fullest potential. And he had 300 receiving yards last year. He realistically should have had 500. There should have been so many times where Quinn Ewers was checking down to Bijan Robinson, go game in and game out. The Oklahoma State game we should have won. He went like 19 of like 41. The dude threw us out of the game. He threw us out of the game. And the game was
Is that a Sark problem, though?
It is and it isn't. It isn't because look, Sark is dialing up plays that get guys open. Like, guys are getting open. Like, and you're the quarterback. I remember CJ Stroud said in his draft interview, they're like, "Oh, you went to your number 1 option a lot. You know, are you worried about the NFL?" And like, he's like, "Well, what, dude? What am I just because for NFL scouts, am I not going to go to Marvin Harrison Jr. when he's open?"
Right.
Like, just because my number 1's open, it's not my fault. So Sark's scheming guys to get open. He's a great schemer. Now, the issue that Sark had when his scheme wasn't working, you got to adjust your scheme to fit your quarterback.
Right.
You got to help and I talked to Ryan Leaf about this. I'm like, what are you doing when your long ball is not working? When you don't have your long ball, Quinn came back from injury. He still was a freshman. The potential is all there. He throws a great ball. He just has to harness it in a little bit. And we saw that in the Washington game. Go to your immediate routes. Go to your checkdowns. Get your rhythm back in place. And that didn't happen enough last year. There were so many moments or a few moments where Jatavian Sanders was like, yo, as good as Brock Bowers is, that kid could be special at tight end as well. And it wasn't utilized enough. So I think that's a big thing to look at. But there's such a focus on what's going to happen at running back. Is Arch Manning going to play? Like, is Xavier Worthy like a true first-round talent? I do want to shout out our offensive line coming back, going to be really strong. Our defense was phenomenal last year, which is crazy to say because in the years past, it's absolutely sucked dick with a side of rice.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, you guys were not bad. Offensively, you just struggled.
We were good defensively, dude.
Yeah,
and we have some ballers. And you know what? We had, our best defensive player.
Catalan comes in, and look,
gave us problems.
Well, and here's another thing. I have not really talked about Texas defense, even though I went on your show and everybody's like, well, talk about their defense. Okay, they're good. You know, like but here's the thing though, combining those two though, Fisher, we've seen Texas post 4 picks from Quinn Ewers to Catalan.
Yeah.
Like, so now how do I go in here and have faith that, well, hey man, if Catalan's got 4 picks against you, how am I supposed to walk in here and say that you've changed?
Look, I need to see it. I'm not going to be like, I need to see it on the field. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, he's a brand. He cut the mullet. He did. I'm not going to run this narrative. Like, I need to see it in week 1 that he's fully flipped the script and he's going to those immediate routes and he's hitting passes and they're running the football well. And then I could give you a God's honest answer about how Alabama's going to look because I don't know. They're playing each other right now. Everyone knows at this point in camp, Catalan's a vet. Catalan's a guy that's going to be playing on Sundays.
4 picks is a lot.
Oh, yeah, totally. But I mean, look, the defensive backfield is you have Catalan, who's a vet, Barron, senior, Watts, senior, Thompson, senior, Crawford, senior. Gabanda is a senior.
Y'all do have a lot of
linebacker. Jalen Ford, 3-star. Oh, everyone's like 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. Jalen Ford is our best defensive player, 3-star dog.
It's usually how it works, dude. It's crazy how that you say that. It's usually how it works.
We had McConaughey on, and he was like, give me the 6-star guy. 2-star recruit, 6-star mentality. I was like, put some pants on. Put some pants on, good sir. But like, yeah, I kind of pick up what you're putting down.
That was a really good podcast, by the way. People need to go listen to that. All right. So how do you think this plays out? Do you think they win the Big 12?
Yeah, I mean, I got it. I have to. I don't think Venables is going to be bad for OU. I think he will eventually be good. He's a really good defensive-minded coach, and when he gets to the SEC, he's going to recruit defensively. He needs time to get his guys in the building. One of your boys, Corey Rogers, I'm going to shout him out. Kyle Flood is so underrated. Great recruiter, great coach. Mm-hmm. Thank you. He needs time, but he's not there yet. Your boy Joe, our boy Joe, saying that OU is a top 10 team.
I completely disagree with him.
Is absolutely ludicrous. And it's ludicrous considering how much he knows about college football. That's him getting into Ryan Clark territory.
Okay, so let's talk about that before I get you out of here.
Well, I'll tell you why the Ryan Clark thing makes me happy and upset at the same time. My biggest knock around guys like me, I didn't play ball, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I definitely know less than guys that played ball in the NFL and college football, but I damn sure would never have said that. Yeah, I would never have said that, dude. Like, you cannot tell me. And George Pickens could be a fine receiver in the NFL. There is no way on God's green earth. Justin Jefferson is in the Randy Moss territory, ironically. Jamar Chase is a beast. Both guys on the Bengals are better than him. Both. And I'm not even going to go to the rest of the league.
I'm not even mad that he said that about Jet. Oh, I mean, I'm not mad that he said that. Okay. I'm mad that he used the best offensive player in the league. He's reigning, defending offensive player of the year. Okay. Reigning. Like, not Patty Mahomes. It was Jeff. Okay. It was Jets. Why not Garrett Wilson, who's in the same draft class? Like, I mean, we're talking about arguably the best wide receiver in the freaking NFL. It was a dumb comment. All right. You think Texas makes the playoffs?
We got a good shot. I would say USC they control their destiny. I'm looking at the teams that control their destiny a bit more. I would say USC does. Ohio State and Michigan do, if one of them runs the table, which Ohio State also has to figure out the quarterback situation before week 4 at Notre Dame. I would say, dude, if FSU beats you guys, which I do not think will happen, by the way, I think we're looking, I'm not going to say it's going to be as bad of a beatdown, but remember when everyone was so gassed up on like Michigan versus Bama that one year and they played and Bama just kicked them in the nuts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys are going to kill them like that. All I know is, as good as their quarterback is, and he is good, he ain't your quarterback. And the best player on both teams, and I like Jared Verse is going to be a good pro for sure. The best player on both teams is Harold Perkins.
I agree.
No questions asked. Every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
I agree. All right. That's Josh Fisher. Dude, tell him this has been awesome. I'm glad that there wasn't a big argument like everybody thought that there was going to be.
I know.
I do agree that, look, and we'll talk so much about them coming to the SEC next year. Let's save that for next offseason. I do think Texas will be competitive. I do not know I'm in the boat with you. Show me that you can do it.
Show me, yeah. Like, come into Alabama and run it.
You can do it.
Be competent, yeah. I mean, Quinn. If everything goes right, Quinn's gone after this year, which is great.
I think he's going after this year no matter what, because if it's back-to-back years and he can't do it, he's going to transfer or he's going to go pro.
Yeah, true.
You'll have to move on from him.
True.
All right,
very true.
We'll see you.
Thank you, man.
Stripe,
Much
tell
love.
them where they can catch your stuff. Tell them where they can
go follow us at the.charity.stripe on Instagram. A lot of fun stuff right there. At _charity stripe _ on Twitter. We also do a Horns Up Talking Texas podcast with Quan Cosby, who just got inducted into the Texas Hall of Honor. Shout out to Q, one of the best dudes on the planet. No questions asked. And go on TikTok. If you got any TikTokers out there, We do dance. No, we don't do dances, but we do funny sketches and fun stuff over there, like non-pod related. I put on a dress, get 1 million views. Got to do what it takes, man. Coach O slid into my DMs after that one.
Are you joking?
I'm fucking with you. Have an early Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you guys later.
Josh Fiser, the charity stripe. Let's break down this scrimmage, and Saints look good. We'll talk about that next.
By the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Whether you've been injured in an accident, you're preparing for a future with your estate planning, you're getting ready to close in on a real estate deal, or you're about to welcome a new addition through adoption into your family, or you're facing criminal charges, you need very experienced attorneys, and that is what the Drake Williams Law Firm will be able to do for you in navigating the legal system. The door to their cozy office in historic downtown Ponchatoula has been open since 1981. They have helped thousands and thousands of Louisiana families and individuals win cases, close on real estate deals, and regain that peace of mind. Their lawyers over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, are very determined, compassionate, and dedicated to their craft. It's the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by.
Bayou Daiquiris at Bayou Bowl and Go is owned and operated locally by Steve and Lisa Bean. You can find them at 1512 North Highway 190 in Covington, Louisiana. That's 1512 North Highway 190 in Covington. The North Shore's first crawfish drive-thru is about to step it up another notch by bringing you drive-thru daiquiris as well. You can call in your order today at 985-888-1914, 985-888-1914, because you know what? Daiquiris and crawfish, it's a Louisiana thing. I do like this question here from Aaron Broussard. He says, Blake, with or without winning a natty, after another stellar year, I do believe Jayden Daniels could cement his status as a top 3 or the top 5 all-time LSU QB. Who is your favorite LSU QB not named Joe Burrow? That's pretty easy for me. He wasn't the flashiest. He wasn't even the best. For me, and this will show my age, it's Matty Mock, baby. It's Matty Mock. I mean, baseball player turned quarterback. Saban started the dynasty that would be, somewhat of a dynasty, just with different coaches. LSU is still over the last 20 years second behind Alabama in national titles. So, yeah. Okay? Matty Mock for me. That's going to age me very quick. Scrimmage is Saturday. There are 3 things that I want to see. We talked already about, injuries, obviously not. Don't want to see them. Don't want to have them. You know that. One of them you already know. I need to see this DB room step up. I need to see this defense step up. There are parts of me that wants to see them come right out of the gate Saturday and punch this team right in the mouth. Punch the offense right in the mouth. Force a 3 and out. Stop them on a goal line stand. That's what I want to see, because I know the offense is going to respond. I know the offense is going to score. I'm not worried about LSU offensively. I know what I'm getting. I've seen it already. Number one, I want to see this defense get after it. Number 2, I want to see LSU run the ball without Jayden Daniels a little bit. I want to see LSU go out there on Saturday and run the football. We have seen LSU lighten it up through the air so far this summer. We've seen it. We've talked about it. We've chronicalized it. We've had multiple segments about it. We know it. One thing that I want to see a little bit more about, or more of, I want to see this running back core get rolling a little bit. So if you're the offense, let's start imposing our will a little bit, because it starts now. We're lining up. It starts now. Let's start imposing our will up front, because you're already doing your job in the pass game. And I will tell you, as an offensive lineman myself, The best way to start the game, give me 2 or 3 good, solid runs. Okay? Good, solid runs to start off the game. Then we're eating. The best thing that I ever remember, okay, is, and not even gaining like a big run, like getting 4 or 5 yards, grueling it out. You know, them sending a blitz and you still picking up 3.5, 4 yards. Maybe busting a 10-yard run, getting out of bounds. All right, bitch, I'm here. You know, that's the ultimate thing offensive linemen love. Let's run it right down their throat. Okay? Let's impose our will a little bit and show that we are the unit that everyone says that we are. On the flip side of that, number 2, hey, man, you're going to have to find you a pass rush. Not named Harold Perkins. Not named Harold Perkins. Can these guys win? Can Savion Jones beat Emory Jones? If Mason Smith does play, hey, even if Perkins is out there and they have to double him, can you win that one-on-one battle on the inside? Let's start getting some of this pass rush back. Number 3 and final. If Jane Daniels, and I'm just reading my notes here, if Jane Daniels goes out here on Saturday and does what he has been continuously and already been doing all camp, guys, I might throw $100 on him to win the Heisman. I'm serious. I might do it. Last Saturday, Jane Daniels imposed his will, okay, on this LSU defense. If he goes out there and does it again in a scrimmage, like, man, what are we might really need to start talking about him how we were talking about Burrow, in a sense. Maybe. Not that, and it's so difficult. Maybe not Burrow, and I hate using that. I do hate using that. We will just need to start putting him in conversations that he's not used to being in, even though he's got the talent to be in those conversations. So if you go out there on Saturday in the QB room and Jayden Daniels lights it up again through the air, yeah, man, I'm going to start feeling really, really good about this team offensively. Like, man, you know what? The defense has got to come along, but offensively, yeah, look good. Those are my 3. Before we get out of here, I do see a super chat. P. Scott says, let's wait. P. Scott, but here's the problem. Here, I get what you're saying. Blake, just wait, okay? I'm with you. But what am I supposed to do if Brian Kelly is being so gracious and giving us this much access and he's out there lighting it up? Like he's not having to use his legs, like he's sitting up there in the pocket? And P. Scott, the first 4 plays in the 7-on-7 the other day were tutties. Yeah, man. Yeah. We'll see. Jeff with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, bud. It says Blake Ivy is committing on Saturday. I'll keep y'all up to date on the AYS forum tonight. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah, go over the forum, ayssnetwork.com. Thank you, Jeff, for the super chat. Thank you, buddy. But yeah, he is committing Saturday. We'll see how that goes. I'm not over, I don't know. I don't know yet. Boogie Season says, Blake, we will never see an offense like from 2012 to 2015 Oregon. Probably. Before we get out of here, Saints looking good against the Chargers in joint practice. Maybe they are good. Derek Carr looked good today, man. Derek Carr looked good today. Has he found another, has he found a real home here? Huh. P. Scott with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, let me see Florida State game first. It's right. Can't say nothing. Well, I'm with you. I'm with you. I get it. Thank you so much, P. Scott, for the super chat. But I get it. I understand. I understand it. All right, let's get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Well, no, we're doing a show Saturday after the scrimmage at some point. We'll see y'all then. Peace.